ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, remember that magic is for everyone. Speaking of everyone, I noticed that in the last one or two deck decks that depending on monitor size, some of the card screenshots are kinda meh. So I'm trying a little new thing today, so please let me know during the deck tag if all the screenshots and so on were good. With those important messages out of the way, let's dive right into Maximum Overdrive, led by the great Roxanne, STARFALL SAVANT. Legendary cat druid for free, a red and a green, with the lovely text off. Whenever Roxanne STARFALL SAVANT enters the battlefield or attacks, create a tap colorless artifact token named Meteorite with, when Meteorite enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target, and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Plus, whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, add 1 mana of any type that artifact token produced. Now, for those new to Magic that are wondering why a meteor, let me educate you, and yep, that is a 5 mana rock. I remember when we played this in Limited. Such a good time. Anyways, back to the cEDH portion of this video, and that being that Roxanne is an infinite kill outlet with the lovely food chain combo. Since we are in red, we got the best food chain creature, namely Squee. We also have the Eldrazi Eternal Scourge because, well, we are only in red and green. So yes, we make infinite creature mana with food chain and kill the table with a hail of meteorites. It does not matter that they enter tapped. They still do 2 damage anywhere as soon as they land. Now, there's also one more funny thing with Roxanne, and that is her final ability. Yes, she doubles treasure mana from Dockside because the treasure needs to tap to make mana besides the sacrifice. So yes, Dockside and Temur Sabertooth makes infinite mana really quickly, and then you can just bounce and recast Roxanne for more Hellfire. Now these 2 win cons are awesome, but we have a backup 3rd win con in this deck with a dual caster and Molten Duplication and our Twin Flame, just because we can. Again, we are only in red and green, so tutors etc. are kinda limited, so we take what we can, right? Sure, you can throw in an Eternal Witness Loop with Twin Flame if you have 5 mana, that is also a possibility, but I never had the pleasure of pulling this one off. If you're unsure what I'm talking about, feel free to pause the video and look upon this image. Thanks Commander Spellbook, I left a link to their awesome website in the description box below. I also included a Cloudstone Courier in this deck if Temur Sabertooth is not available to us for some reason, and we got plenty of small creatures to do the loop with easy. Now that we covered how we can win with this deck, and before we get into the depths of Maximum Overdrive, just a little, well, notation. This was the first red-green only deck I built, and well, some of the cards I included in the deck were simply there just to fill the slots. This means that the slots are very flexible. Without them, obviously I would not be able to finish the deck because it would be like an 82 card deck or something. And yes, there are more than a few. I did have to dig through boxes and boxes to find cards. But yeah, anyways, I digress. In the land department, I had 26 lands in the base of the deck. A few basics, fetch lands, shock and dual lands, and a few fun lands like Cradle, Urza Saga to get mana vault mostly, and the lovely Boseiju best breach removal there is. 1 Cavern of Souls hiding beneath Paths of the Dead to cast your commander uncounterably, or that Dockside, or whatever creature you needed at that moment. Enchantments on the other hand had the win con, obviously, the Breach, Library for draws, Utopia for mana along with Carpet, Spiteful Banditry is a fun board wipe, and Blood Moon was more of a hate piece, because you know we can go off with red mana, and Bar Class, well, I just threw it in. You can exile to Chrome Moxer and have both of your colored pips if you want. Speaking of artifacts, nothing too fancy, all the mana making rogues, a ring to draw us cards, a curse mirror to copy Dockside or something important from your opponents, and the Curio is part of a combo I mentioned. Nothing too spicy came to mind here. In the instance department we had mostly removal, like a lot of removal, and you know, some tutors like Court of Calling and Archduke's Charm, March of Luckless Joy to maybe get some value, hopefully. Same as Monomorphos, SWAT and 2 Blast to protect our combo from the blue side of the table, and a Veil, cause why not. The Turn the Earth was there just in case, you know, both as a grave hate piece or to recover something lost earlier in the game. I know I am blowing past everything, but there is nothing too unique in this deck, and I'm sure you can just adjust the 99 to your playstyle and liking. Roxanne is flexible that way. Sorceries are up next. We did talk about the win cons, so everything else is ramp, like Right or Just Cause Will, tutors like Finale or Eldritch. Shadow Skull is mostly a land, and we don't talk about Harvest because, you know, it just exists. I gambled on it, and well, When it comes to the epic creatures, besides Sabertooth and Darkside in our food chain fodder, well, we have, Darkside tutors like Recruiter or Matron, Elves to make our spells cheaper, Tinderwall is a great card, Endurance for that Grave Hate or Recurrence, Magda is also an artifact tutor, and Manglehorn is there just to slow your opponents down. Facebreaker is there if you have many treasures and no combo, and maybe will help you dig through your deck for the line, and Destiny Spinner is there also just to make your creatures and food chain uncounterable. More Fast Mana and Spirit Guides, and Monkey for that sweet card advantage. Also, I am a huge fan of Lumberjack here. This deck also features 2 battles. Invasion of Ikoria is a tutor for Docky or food chain creature, but don't ask me about the other one. Ergamon is there for a treasure or maybe digging for a card. Nothing too fancy, just literally I needed a card and just, throw it in. And that is the deck I built. Remember, I am always happy when you look upon it or take a deck and adjust the 99 to whatever it is you want to play. Who knows, maybe by the time I am recording this, many new broken cards have come out to support this deck. You tell me. Currently I put Roxanne in the 99 on my Rush Me Ragavan casual deck to do more nut swings with treasures. Also, I shall not be looking at opening hands because goldfishing I just do not enjoy, because I always need more info. So instead, I will ask you to subscribe if you enjoy the content here, share it, like the videos, and consider joining my Patreon. It ain't too expensive. And as always, I will see you all behind the veil.